Well, this week in movies, we take a look at Sydney Sweeney in a nun horror movie and Jake Gyllenhaal in the remake of the 1989 classic Roadhouse. Here with his take on all of this, more and more, is Rad, our film critic, who's wearing, as he called it, nuncore. And now I appreciate why, because it's about the movie that we are talking about.
I'm always trying to dress up in costume for our movies.
I love it. I love it. Listen, it's going to snow like crazy in a lot of places across the country, so movies are the perfect thing to do. We're going to start with Immaculate, starring Sydney Sweeney. Before I get your take on it, we're going to watch the trailer.
I know God saved me for a reason, but I guess I'm still searching for what that reason is. Too much blood of Christ.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. Sydney not only stars in the film, is also a producer. What did you think of this?
I really enjoyed this. Sydney Sweeney is basically blessing us with a throwback to Rosemary's Baby, but also kind of the Italian giallo films, the really gory horror movies that loves to show you a lot of bodily harm. And this is a movie where she's playing a nun in this Italian convent who, as you see, discovers she's pregnant. They think it's the Immaculate Conception. They think she's the second coming of the Virgin Mary, very protective of the baby she has. And so this is one of those like kind of humble horror movies that, really want to give you all the tropes and all the jump scares and all that stuff, but it was, and the gory stuff, but it's also in conversation as previous movies with this entitlement over women's bodies that we see in horror movies, with this this idea of horror movies in terms of horror movies that are about the patriarchy gaslighting women. This is a movie that is continuing that. Certainly when you see a movie like this in this moment, post Roe versus Wade, it's, having a conversation with that idea of like my body, my choice in that kind of a storyline. And then also having Sydney Sweeney in this role is really interesting because, Sydney Sweeney, when you talk about a movie where you have these people kind of imposing meaning on a woman's body, you think about Sydney Sweeney, her persona, how people are always objectifying her, how people are always imposing meaning on her body. You saw that National Post column recently that went viral saying that Sydney Sweeney's body is the death of woke. So when you have her in this role, there's this interesting conflation between her and the character she's playing, and that just makes this movie that much more visceral.
Okay, so who's this one for?
This is for people who love the gory stuff, movies like X and Revenge, which are also horror movies that are also dealing with gender politics.
Okay, next a throwback to the 1989 action cult film, Roadhouse. This is with Jake Gyllenhaal. Did you like the remake?
I did. Look, I love that they decided to do everything they could differently from the 1989 Patrick Swayze original. Listen, I know people love the 89 Swayze movie with his poofy hair and he's sneezing out some bad Tai Chi movies and stuff, new moves and things, but that was a movie that was kind of like so bad it was good, whereas this one is really good up until it's not, right? But it's Gyllenhaal, he's really funny in this movie. Doug Liman, the director, he knows how to stage fun, snappy action and just give the space to really big personalities to shine through this. So the movie only really falls apart near the last act where it just turns into an incoherent mess of action, which is much more, in line with the original. But I was having the time of my life with this movie.
Okay, who's gonna like this one?
Look, this is for people who enjoy fun comedies like The Nice Guy and Game Night. If you love those, you would love this.
I loved Game Night. That's a great movie.
So now you know what you're watching this weekend.
Do you know what I love so much about these segments, Rad? Yeah. Not only do you inspire us to watch new movies, but you also remind us of great movies that we can rewatch. Awesome. Love having you in.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.